Good day, my friend, and welcome. Welcome. Sit down, have a seat, pull up a chair, have some crumb cake. Welcome. Welcome to this thing of ours. It is our Wednesday version. It is noon Eastern Time, right here live from the bowels, the cloaca of Hell's Kitchen. I'm so glad you could be with us. So glad you could be a part of this. Let me ask you, first of all, to ask you, can you hear me? Can I get a 5 by 5? Just to make sure. Sometimes there's nothing worse than when you start talking and somebody says, I can't hear you. Or there's so many little buttons and things to just, there we go. My friends, get ready. We have so much to talk about. I don't even want to delay it any further. Let me also tell you right now that our dear friends from My Patriot Supply have put together a product that people are buying like mad. It is involving a bug out bag. It's this thing that I promise you do not have available and ready to go if God forbid happens. Why should you get one? Well, listen to this. When disaster hits, you don't rise to the occasion. You fall back on what you already prepared. Wildfires, floods, hurricanes, tornadoes, blackouts, EMP and grid attacks, riots, disaster. Get it? And when the warning comes, there's no time to search for flashlights or bottled water or first aid supplies while your family waits at the door. That's why My Patriot Supply created the fully stocked bug out bag. You've got to get this. It's a rugged, grab-and-go tactical backpack packed with 60 emergency essentials, including food, water, shelter, fire, starting tools, lighting, first aid, and more. Everything is already packed and ready right out of the box. Keep one in your car, your home, your RV, your office, your cabin, because the emergencies never make appointments. And right now, you can get $100 off plus free shipping for a limited time. So act now. There will be no special invitation in life. Disaster always comes unannounced. Get prepared now. Go to preparewithlionel.com. That's preparewithlionel.com and click the link today. My friend, depending upon where you are, I'm always assuming you're here for the first time. We first thank you for this. Welcome aboard. You are most welcome to be here. I ask you, of course, to like this video. Please subscribe, and please make sure you're subscribed and resubscribe. We are finding out. I don't know why people are being unsubscribed. I don't know why. So make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you like this. Make sure you interact. Because, my friends, this is something that has there is so much that we are talking. First and foremost, I want you to know how excited I feel right before we speak. Right before, I'm thinking I want to talk about so many things. I write some things down and I never really get to them because once I plug in, I let whatever is on my mind, it just flows. It, dare I say, it pours, it extravasates. It just happens. Okay? One of the great things about this is for those of us who have been doing this, and this is I started in 1988. First time I ever did an actual paid gig on a weekend. And from then until now, 38 years, I have never seen what is happening here. Let me tell you something. Conservative talk, we call it talk radio. That's like saying album. When it's on an album, hey, we got a new album. We don't even have a new CD. It's a new song, a new drop, a new whatever. I don't know. But we use these terms because we're used to them. But this conservative messaging, this rubber stamping Fox News is dead. Dead. We are seeing this new, and you can make music analogies. Country music went berserk when Roy Acuff and a lot of these old-time country music, these opry folks said, you can't have drums, you can't have brass. I mean, they don't even know what happened. And then the Outlaws came along and Willie, and they don't want. Number two, forever, and I mean this, forever, since the beginning of time, if you ever even dared to mention anything about the Middle East, if you did not rubber stamp every single thing that whatever iteration or the government of Israel was, if you didn't do it, if you questioned anything, and I'm not talking about the existence or the right to exist, which I've never understood. Everybody has the right to exist. I hate to tell you that. I hate to break it to you, but you kind of do. But anyway, you would be, I mean, you'd be a grease spot. And nobody would even listen to you. Nobody would say, well, I'm just trying to, nope. Conservative. And somehow people thought that America's greatest ally, now the phrase is being used almost as a joke, as a jocose reference. But you would have to memorize these things. And if you dared veer from it, that was it. October the 7th, 2023, that ended. It ended. Not the end of Israel, not the end of, but the end of this automatic, no, don't say anything. It's done. Hillary Clinton is talking about her husband stood up to Bibi and stood up to Israel. It's done. Not only is it okay, provided you don't get into hate, and there is hate speech. There is hate. I will never understand how you can hate somebody's faith when you're not of that faith. I think you can kind of hate it if you're in it. I always thought, if you're a Catholic and you've got a beef with the Catholic Church, you can say, well, at least I'm in it and I kind of know what it's about. But how anybody can hate, the Zoroastrians, the Baha'i, the Methodists, how can you hate? Okay, assuming it's not that. So that's number one. They don't know what to do. And all of these people who one day said, wait a minute, it's like Casey and the Sunshine Band and Nile Rodgers a little bit and a lot of I don't want to say the Bee Gees, but all of a sudden when disco stopped, people said, what am I doing with all these gold lame, the big collars? And Mark Levin sounds like they're going to put him in a museum. And people are going to be saying, wow. And I want to ask people, well, why have you just noticed this now? Well, we don't notice it really now. It just seems like for some reason it just ended. And the anger and the screaming, there's a lot of people who are kind of making a lot of sense here. Same thing happened with the end of Vietnam War. Ben Shapiro is probably one of the best examples. Ben Shapiro, by the way, Mark Levin may not be liked, but Ben Shapiro is hated. What he did to Candace, he's just an unlikable prick. And it just changed. So that's the second thing. The biggest thing I want to tell you right now, the biggest of the big, is how this left-right hardcore demarcations between left and right, they're done. They're finished. They're absolutely they're done. I don't even know what that means anymore. I really don't. we're always going to find some things who, we'll find some people who disagree with some stuff. I understand that. But not like before. There are people right now who are coming together specifically involving the Middle East. They're coming out of the woodwork. When you have Theo Vaughn, Joe Rogan, Anna Kasparian, Cenk Uygur, Judge Andrew Napolitano, Colonel Douglas McGregor, John Mearsheimer, Larry Johnson, Max Blumenthal, Aaron Monte, Katie Hopper, everybody, just everybody. Joe Rogan, I think I mentioned Joe Rogan. Everybody coming together and say, this is ridiculous. This is done. This is finished. This is horrible. And then February the 28th, the war in Iran. Here's the coffin they keep nailing. And the government, this iteration of Israel, says, we don't have to listen to anybody. We don't care what you say. And President Trump is saying, oh, no, you're going to stop. And they're saying, oh, no, we're not. And what people are now saying is, many people are suspecting for the first time, do you think that they've really have some dirt on Trump? I mean, that Epstein stuff. Because as people have been saying for the longest time, people have been saying that Epstein, Les Wexner, Ehud Barak, Alan Dershowitz was the lawyer. There was not a Jewish contingent, but there was a very serious cadre of individuals who were involved in representing very ardently Israel. And people have said, I wonder where some of all these videos went and all this information, all this data. Where'd this go? I don't think the FBI came in and took them. I think they were cataloged and put away over the years. So they represent a vault, a treasure trove of some of the most embarrassing stuff. And what people are saying right now is, could they have the goods on Trump? Is this the only thing that could possibly explain this? There was another group of people who were, and by the way, we're not talking about the left saying this, we're talking about everybody saying this. Then there's another thing, another issue, which is the most important. And this is critical. And before we get into this, let me see if I can explain something. What's really important, really fascinating, is to always look at the obvious. Take all of the signs, all of the parties away, everybody, left, right, Trump, Democrats, Republicans, and look at it like you're from another country, looking very objectively as to what's going on. And ask yourself, does this make any sense to you? And a lot of people are saying, no, it doesn't. And now we've got other people as well. Tucker Carlson and others, Marjorie Taylor Greene. A lot of people. Joe Rogan, Megyn Kelly, still trying to figure out where she's going to land. She's not really sure. We're not really sure about Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly, bless her heart, I'm not sure with Megyn Kelly. But people are saying that Butler doesn't make any sense. That the whole notion of the story, and you have Joe Kent, and you're talking to. So I spend Breaking Points. Breaking Points with Sagar and Jetty and Crystal Ball is phenomenal. You should watch them every day to get your feeling, to get your kind of like your take, so to speak. You understand this? This is the most important. What's really interesting as well, and this is important, and I mean this with all my heart, news as we know will never be the same. It will never be the same. And I can't say this enough. And when I'm looking, the other day I happened to be watching something, And we were watching, my wife and I was watching, on Netflix, a show I never thought I'd like. It's called Song Sung Blue. Kate Hudson and Hugh Jackman. I thought, oh, this is a piece. By the way, for some reason, Hollywood can't do a decent wig for a man. I don't know why. They can't do it. That is such a great show. I can't believe how good it is. Great, 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 great writing. Feel good. And as I'm going back and forth, I got to get I don't know about you, but it's like I'm in charge of everything. Mrs. L says, here you go. We're in bed. She goes, here. If she hands me a pile of clickers, as we call them, you figure this out. I got this, and this is for the Roku, and this is for that. I'm going like that and that. And as I'm going there, lo and behold, there was we went through Fox News. In Fox News, I think it was Sean Hannity, and I swear to God, it looked like a museum piece. With all due respect, God bless him, so positive. So it is a museum piece to see J.D. Vance on The View. And I had to stop, and I turned to Mrs. Owens. I said, can you tell me what year do they think it is? You're on with Sunny Hostin? We don't have time for this. We don't have time for this. This is an insult to us. This is an absolute insult. What is this? Whoopi Goldberg with J.D. Vance? What is he doing? It's these people who think that it's these people who think they're winning someone over, I guess. And they don't understand that they're hurting their brand. A couple of years ago, this would have made a difference, but it doesn't make any difference anymore. Okay, so we have that. The next issue is what Candace Owens is bringing to the fore. She is still the biggest thing around. And what she is doing, and there are people who love to find, I don't care, this and that. Great. I used to be like that. I would say some things like I say now with the FIFA, with the World Cup in Jersey, I don't care. Well, the world disagrees with me. So I'm in the minority. The world disagrees with me, but it's fun for me to be the contrarian. And there are people who are the contrarians. There are people who love to just say these things about Candace. They love to say this. Oh, who cares? Somebody said, do I have to watch her show? It's like people just think of snarky, shitty things to say, just to say them. You know what I mean? And there's always that thing. I am thoroughly, absolutely bored out of my mind with talking about Michelle Obama. I don't care. Don't waste my time. If you want to, people just love to talk about, isn't she ugly? She's so ugly. Isn't she ugly? She looks like a man. Are you done with that? I'm so tired of that. Let's talk about Bess Truman. She was no looker. This is the worst part, I think, about social media, the trolling and the mean-spirited irrelevance. It doesn't matter. I'm not interested in that. It's boring. No, but I just want to make fun of people. Okay. There are people who just love to make fun of the way she looks, and they have memes, and she's so ugly, and she's so. I don't think so. Oh, and Joan Rivers. They killed Joan Rivers because Joan Rivers said she was a man, and they keep saying this, and I'm thinking, do you know how long? Do you know anything about the case? No, I do. And I'm going to leave it at that, okay? I'm going to leave it at that, and believe me, this is not what you think it was. But it's fun to say that because we must understand there are people in our group who love a good conspiracy kind of a thing. They love it. Absolutely love it. It doesn't matter. The idea that they would get Joan Rivers and wait till she goes to this all this, this kind of a non-hospital ENT or plastic surgery, whatever, and then they're going to get her. And then I'm sure somebody else is not saying, well, how do you know she's not dead? And listen, I appreciate that. And it's boring. I've been through this. Believe me, there's so much. The stuff that's going on right now is so big. That's not it. And it's really kind of beneath us. It really is. Seriously. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Michelle Obama is irrelevant. Let her go. Just let her go. Whatever it is. Now, that's different from, I'm sorry, Brigitte Macron, because that is the current case. She happens to be the wife of the president of France, and it's a different story. And not only that, there is a, dare I say, a provenance, okay? You understand that? Now, this is it. This is the part which is the most important. This is the part which I think is the most important. We must ask ourselves, and we can talk about this and overly do it, but let's just move over. The story which I think is the most important, number one, is who killed Charlie Kirk. That's it. Michelle Obama had nothing to do with it, so let's put it aside. If you want to talk about her, go ahead, but not for me. It's just there's too much great stuff going on. There's other stuff too. Middle East, phenomenal. That's kind of sort of involved, maybe. This dealing with Russophobia and dealing with this anti-Russian nonsense, that's important. That's relevant. But aside from all that, aside from what we're seeing right now, I went this morning and I just answered these people. I said, I have never seen a bigger bunch of caterwauling nincompoops in my life who have nothing to say about, how do I say this, about Candace, other than she's a grifter. She's a grift. A grift is a con. There's nothing that she's saying that is a con. This is the most important thing in the world. There is no con. This is the most important thing. I don't even know. They're using the wrong term. It's like the word conspiracy. I've told you for the longest time. A conspiracy is a confederation or an agreement between two or more guilty people to bring about some type of illegal or some awful effect. That's it. It doesn't mean a crazy idea or the government lying to you. But anyway, they're going berserk. And this Neff and all these other people and Erica are fighting back, fighting against Candace and saying nothing. All they have to do, which they can't do, is ignore her. Why does this Neff dude care about, or why does he not join the parade, the movement to find the killer of Charlie Kirk? Why? Why is he satisfied? Why does he consider it to be an insult to truth or something for anybody to officially deny the effect or the theory, the narrative of this? And the latest thing which has these people going nuts is, of course, the plastic, the road or roadie, whatever road, Mike. I don't know how it's actually pronounced. I heard somebody say roadie one time. I don't know if that's true. If it's I don't know. But you know what I'm talking about. And also the FBI and its whereabouts of cashless, Eagle Eye himself, where he was on a 3-day basis, and the snarky, unprofessional response, retort, riposte, and reaction to Candace. Unbelievable. That is the issue. And if you went to Fox News and said, do you want to find out what happened? No. Just like coming up we have the 25th anniversary of September the 11th in less than 2 months. And nobody, well, this year's different. We're going to be talking about it. Jimmy Dore knows about it. I know about it. I know a lot about that. A lot about this because I lived it, lived through it. And I can tell you stuff being here in New York and the inside. Same thing you're going to see. Fox News isn't going to do it, but you're going to see a convulsion on social media platforms. That is just, and they're going to come out of the woodwork. I mean, come out of the woodwork. And many of you probably don't even know the whole story yet. When you find out, it'll blow your mind. And the same deep divers, which are brand new, they're going to do the same thing. And by the way, all the information is there. So we have something which is so important. And this is so critical. And yet, the number one person who has the most attention of the world is Candace Owens. And I'm telling you right now, and what makes this different than anything else, there is nobody. I'm going to say this again. I know what I'm talking about. I've never seen anybody who is loved. The detractors don't matter. There's always detractors. There is nobody who feels this. I've never seen it. Candace is their sister, their neighbor, their friend, their relative, I'm telling you, I'm fine. Nobody. And this isn't, this, I mean, listen, there are people, I don't know what it is. I think, I could be forced to give you some stupid reason, which doesn't even come close to saying why. I don't know what it is. I don't know. But I will tell you this. This is the most important thing in the world, and I mean it. I mean it. This is so critical. I've never seen anything like it. And what's also the most interesting with everything is that it converts, and here's the best thing. Women love her. I would venture to say, first of all, women love her. She's brought more women, I think, to this particular area of expertise and area than anybody else. I think more people, well, I don't think men love her as much. Women love her. And here's the irony. In the broadcast world, those snippy vipers, those horrible, horrid curs, those viragos, those people that just drive me nuts, they hate her because they're so jealous of her. She makes it effortless. They sit around on a couch with their Louboutins, and they're just so phony, and they're each one trying to come across and go, am I sexy? Am I sexy? Am I sexy? Huh? Have I had enough work done yet? And there's Candace. Same set, same this, every day. Oh, you got your hair done? Very nice. Oh, that's it. She says, I don't care about this bullshit. Okay, I wear something different. That's not why I'm here. And because of it, she has this joy. She has this effervescence. She loves to be there. When she says, all right, guys, not that, hey, guy. She says it is happy. From the first time she cracks the mic, she's happy. And it makes people happy. And I can go on and on and on and on. I'm telling you, nobody else has it. You watch those Fox News people, and I swear to God, they look like the most miserable. They look like they would slit each other's throat if you turned your back on them. This cutthroat broadcast. And there's something about when you're in a studio and the sound man and makeup and hair, and there's the producer, and there's the getting mic'd up, and I think It's dead. It's dead. Not only that, her show starts. She says 5:30, might be 5:40. We'll wait. She does it. She comes back. Then you can watch it again. Watch portions of it. Watch it. It changes everything. Do you understand that? There's no such thing as, my favorite is live at 5. Ours would be live at 5-ish. This everything. It's whenever I'm done. There was a picture of, I was talking to, what was his name? I like him, Mario, you know his name is Naftal, whatever. And apparently he's talking to old Uncle Buck, Tucker's brother. And by the way, remember, Friday, Sabby Sab, she's here. I think it's 11. Anyways, here, Friday, check, make sure. A week from Friday, Candace, noon, right here, Eastern time. I got, Tucker's going to be in about 3 weeks. His brother, that Buck is the hardest one to me. Because he's, I'm sorry, my car exploded. Okay, I think you're just making it up. No. I'm sorry. Hey, I'd love to be a little out of pocket right now. Well, we have the locusts, Okay. Whatever you say. But he was in a closet. Remember Tucker's old closet, the cedar closet? It was like a closet or something. I don't know, with pictures of, I don't know where. His house. I love the bric-a-brac. It's like Ethan Allen meets Cracker Barrel. It's this combination. But there's this guy sitting in a closet, going into the closet, and it's the most compelling stuff there is. It's the most compelling stuff there is. And it's all product. And these people don't get it. So what's also we're finding out right now is that we are getting to the bottom of the fact that this story makes no sense regarding Charlie. None of it. And we're finding that people are getting upset over the fact that we're daring to question it. And I don't understand, and nobody can understand, why would you not want to find this out? Why? Why would you not want to find this out? It's now going back, if you don't mind me going back and forth. Supposedly the MOU, the Memorandum of Understanding regarding United States and Iran, everybody else, is supposed to be signed Friday. Put your money on some shit hitting the fan at or near or around that time. Because everybody's saying, there ain't no way Bibi's going to let that happen. No way. No, you don't. No, you don't. And no matter what happens, if Trump says, no, we're going to do this, this is a JCPOA, by the way, which is not that big of a deal. They're saying, you're giving them money. No, it's their money. It's Iran's money. It doesn't matter whether it's their money or not. All right. Get ready. Get ready. Now, I don't want to be a doomsayer. I don't want to be a Cassandra. And that's why when I talk about bug out bags and things, but in July, what I would do, stop for a second. What would I do? What would I do if I was trying my best to make the world not deal with Iran in any way? What would you do? Let me ask you, then I'll tell you what I would do. Let's assume your job is to sit there and say, we want war with Iran. We don't want any peace. We want to wipe them off the face of the earth. And Lebanon, in fact, we want the whole area. We want, people would call it Greater Israel. You can argue that point. But what would you do? What would you do? I'm putting you in charge. What would you do? What I would do this, assuming I had no scruples, no morals, no concern for life, which many could argue is one of the big problems when you deal with war. I would have something so big, so horrible, so terrible happen that it would be obviously a false flag that would suspend everything. And I would point fingers and I'm saying, there, that's what we're dealing with. Then the other side says, we didn't do it. Then I say, oh, yes, you did. And here we go again. And I'd make it big because I'd realize that the only way I'm going to ever get my number one enemy off the map is not with our help. We don't have the wherewithal. We don't have it. I'm going to have to do something to make it look bad. And the only thing I know how to do is to make things look like they're not. And you know it. In our world, nobody sees a false flag coming ever. Ever. You can even tell them. And they're so worried about being conspiratorial or not appearing conspiratorial that they will say, that's ridiculous. I'm not going to. That's crazy. Are you telling me that they deliberately orchestrated this? Why? Do you know how many people you'd have to tell and have to know? Nobody can keep a secret that routine. That routine. Let me ask you this question. Yes or no? Would we have been in Iraq or Afghanistan if those two towers didn't fall? Simple question. And 90, was it 3? There was the first attempt, Ramzi Youssef and the blind sheikh. Nothing happened. They tried to detonate something in the garage. It didn't fall. Okay. Let's assume that plane hits, they go up, and they were on their way. They were about to put this out. They were on their phones and they were talking. And all of a sudden they said, we got it. Got it. One building, two building, smoldering. That's it. Minimal loss of life. No visual, nothing. Very simple question. Would we say, come on, let's go to Iraq now? Wait. Come on, they did this. They flew the planes in. Yeah, they did, but they're not very good. Well, we got it in time, but they could have. It could have fallen. Do you think they would have done that? Do you think anything would have happened? There would have been PNAC. There would not have been the war resolution. There would not have been anything. Nothing. Now, does it mean necessarily that was all contrived? No. But ask yourself this very simple question. If you want something done, you've got to give people the reason to really want it. And as you know, there's a wonderful concept. It's the Hegelian dialectic. And Hegel says it's basically thesis, antithesis, synthesis. Or, as we like to say, problem, reaction, solution. You want to change things? Create a problem, whatever it is. Next, have people react. Anger, fear, uncertainty, horror. Fix this. You want there to be a comprehensive crime bill? Let's give them some real crime. Let's give them some real crime. Let's get all these people that we've got lined up, these central casting. Let's let them loot and pillage and go through. Maybe, who knows? Oh, I don't know. Maybe even another George Floyd. Problem is the rioting. Reaction is going to be do something, make laws tougher. Okay, we'll do it. We'll give you a solution. But it may be a tad draconian. Anything. Okay. It's like, make this pain stop. You ever hear people who've had like toes amputated, or they've been in such pain, they fused things, they've been immobile. Sometimes they've been so in fear of certain metastatic breast cancers, they have prophylactic mastectomies, not mastectomy, mastectomy. Now it's a different concept, but what I'm saying is you will do a lot of things if you think this may be rough, but we have to do something to stop this fear. And we live in this world. We live in this. In 1898, we were told we have to get into the Spanish-American War. William Randolph Hearst. Remember the whole story. How do we do this? What do we do? How do we get involved in the Spanish-American War? The Maine, Havana Harbor. Remember the Maine. Boom. The Gulf of Tonkin resolution. That took care of that. Pearl Harbor. Pearl Harbor. Would we have been in World War II without Pearl Harbor? Would we have been in would we, seriously, after the war to end all wars, we said we are never going to do this again, come hell or high water. That's their problem. That's Russia, they've got an army. France, Great Britain, they've got an army. But they're killing people. Well, they kill people a lot. What are you going to do? In fact, we even had the St. Louis. Remember the boat that came in, and we turned around and sent them back, most probably to their death, because Roosevelt wanted nothing to do with this. But something had to give. And Pearl Harbor was perfect. We left. We had all of the battleships next to each other, but we moved all the big carriers out. Let them take care of the carriers. Not the carriers, but the battleships. Just let's move out. And then they thought, do you think Hitler's stupid enough? Do you think Hitler signed the tripartite agreement with Mussolini and Japan? Do you think if we can get Japan to declare war against us, or vice versa, that Hitler would honor that agreement and be stupid enough to take us on? Yes, he did. Ta-da! Churchill was happy. You will never, ever, ever understand the treachery of Winston Churchill. You will never. He is sacrosanct. Do you know what perfide Albion means? The perfidy of Albion, the treachery. You want to talk about conniving? The Brits, Tertius Gaudens, you know, the game theory where you bring in somebody, they wanted this. Was it Edward VII got us into World War I? I mean, we have fallen for this stuff, and give us a gullible press. Give us a Fox News, give us a Jesse Waters, give us a Rush Limbaugh or a whoever, and get a bunch of flags, pass the flags out, get the lapel pins. Come on, everybody. Stand up. Vietnam, we've done this. We know this routine. And we keep falling for it. However, what's different now? What's different now is the fact that we have this. We've got enlightened people. I can take the very fact that you are here right now. The very fact that you are here right now indicates that you are, dare I say, one of the more enlightened. I can tell you something. I can make you think something. I can make you say, you know what? I've got an idea here. I think this might be a false flag. Go on. You don't give me that stuff about, well, do you know how many people it would take to bring that? Do you know how easy it is to take out Charlie? They did it. And who's standing in the way? I'm going back to Charlie. Let me ask you this question. Imagine if Erica, you tune in one day, and you've got Candace, Erica, Neff, McCoy, Colvette, Laura Loomer, Tucker, everybody lined up. Everybody's saying, we want to know what happened to Charlie. That's it. It's done. It's done. They'd say, we're sunk. Why? Because everybody's But what they do is they can say, how much will it cost for you to take the other opinion, the other side? How much? Do you see? No, you notice all these Hollywood types. Springsteen's doing a lot. Springsteen. Think he's trying to still work off that USAID money after all those years? You know, the USAID money went to, we don't even know where it went. It paid for people that there's no track record. I don't know. Remember when he had his DUI problem? Remember that? Took care of that. It's not the end of the world, mind you, but still, it's a lot of people. Do you see all the people who are in Hollywood whose kids are trans? Do you know that if I were to tell you that there were billions of dollars set up and set aside to pay for a permanent elite class in Hollywood to always be there to push the narrative, whether it's climate or whether it's whatever it is? What if I told you that? Do you think that'd be far-fetched? Do you think it'd be far-fetched if I told you, yeah, we took all these people. Where do you think who was it? Tucker asked the question, where did Ackman make his money? Now, I don't know. I don't know anything about that. But as soon as somebody said, where'd you make your money from? They said, hey. As opposed to saying, I'll show you where I made my money. Why are all these people in Hollywood live these lifestyles and it's funny? Why? They haven't made a movie in that long. When you make a movie, half of it or whatever it is first of all, there's the taxes, then it goes to your agent, then it goes to this one and the lawyers and everything else. And then maybe you'll get some residual at the end. And unless it's some kind of a big deal, a big movie, you're not going to get anything down the road. Nothing. You're not going to get anything. So where do you think this comes from? They had one time the reunion of was it the Breakfast Club? I don't know. Ali Sheedy and whatever. All these people living in the Topanga Canyon and Hollywood Hills and Holmby Hills and studios. And look at this, 3 million, 4 or 5 million. Where does this money come from? They haven't had a hit. They haven't been on TV. Those big deals are over. You know, the Friends people are getting about 20 million a year in the residuals. Seinfeld, that's unheard of. Where do you think this money came from? What if I told you, and I'm not saying this happened, but what if I told you the following? What if I said, I've got a deal where we're going to open up some Federal Reserve, I don't know what, but money to them means nothing. Where does this money come from? There's no money there. They don't go to Fort Knox and melt gold down. But what if I told you there was this group that says, we got to help these people? Robert De Niro I've always heard he's got so much money problem, it's not even funny. Not money problem, it's just families and exes and kids, and he's just not bankable like he used to be. No matter how much you think he's got, he takes any movie, no matter what it is. Okay. So what do you think if all of a sudden, here comes Elon Musk, and he promised that Doge stuff. I don't know if they, I don't know what. See, what I would always do is like, okay, I'll tell you what, we'll keep you on the payroll, but now we're going to own you. But let's assume the Kennedys. Where are the Kennedys? You know how many Kennedys there are? What, 1,000? I have no idea. The original 6, 7, 9, well, all the originals, I think they're all dead, right? I think all of the originals, yeah, they're all dead. I think they're all dead. Now they have the second tier, the Bobbys and the Kennedys and this and the whatever. And then you get below that. So from the Bobbys, let's take Bobby Kennedy. Bobby Kennedy has kids. The kids get married. They have kids. So now you have immediately 4, 5, 6, 10 layers. They went through this guy, Jack Schlossberg, his money, because he had to file financial. This guy he's never had a job in his life. His first job was he was going to write for Vogue. He's a nothing. He's a ne'er-do-well. This guy's got 20, 30 million, whatever it is, these funds from this. These people are set for life. Where does this money come from? And they're always there. They turned on Bobby. They're there for Obama. They're there en masse. They work like a team. And I don't think anybody cares about them anymore. Same thing goes for Hollywood. Do you remember when why was De Niro always there screaming and yelling from Hollywood about Trump? Why? Why was that always the case? Do you remember when Rob Reiner said after the election, I have to go into rehab for social media, or the rehab? You don't go to rehab, is not a resort. Something was up with that. Remember, he was there every single day. Could he likewise be feeling the pinch? I mean, I don't know how many times what the residuals are on Harry Met Sally, but when was the last movie these people? What if I told you that Hollywood was a subdirectory of the shadow government, of this group, and of the people in Hollywood? Billions were set aside to make it worth your while to have this permanent class of people, music as well, so that whenever we want to have anything, we've got the left, we've got Hollywood, we've got music, we've got rap, we've got rock, we've got everybody. You are going to be a part of this. Then we have the newspaper, got that taken care of. I forget what they were saying, but they bought subscriptions and kept all kinds of radical left stuff, well, leftist, in print. From some account somewhere, unaccountable, don't know where it was, but all I know is that when they shut down that Doge, that USAID, they didn't know. They thought, holy shit. Do you know what this means? Yes, and they have to figure something else out. Nobody knows where the money goes. What if I told you I've got a permanent press, permanent media, permanent video, permanent everything? I'm in charge. I own all of the social media platforms. I own them all. Trump subverted them. I think Trump is more in bed with these people than the left ever was. In addition to, I have big pharma, big tech, big agri. You always forget about that. The GMO folks. And if you took all of this away, what do you think is going to happen? Think about that. Is this beyond your possibilities? Someone asked that question before, which is interesting. Our good friend Raul says, I bet Candace is ecstatic to be on your Up show. I would certainly hope so. I think I would hope she'd be pleased. I can't read this name. Says, could you interview Dr. Ramani, expert on psychopaths? Her thing is sociopaths. And she's very, very good, but it's sociopaths. Excuse me, narcissists. Pardon me. Narcissists. Be interesting, perhaps. So, my friends, there you. I'm just telling you. This is huge. You may not even notice it because you're just watching all these great people and you're saying, this is revolutionary. And Barry Weiss doesn't understand it. They don't know what's going on here. You watch this Breaking Point in the morning. Watch them. Now remember, if they get into this leftist, they don't really get into it, but this, because I think the most despicable of these people who believe in, this nonsense. I mean, total nonsense about kids and gender and all that stuff. They're not really into that. And a lot of these folks, like Zoran Mamdani, saying, okay, we may disagree with that. All right, fine. A lot of young people like him because of his energy and his smile. Remember, pay attention to that. But for the other stuff, we're all on the same page. What if all of a sudden you're seeing the end of the left-right paradigm, the end of the two-party system, the end of it? What if you start seeing people coming forward and we're saying we're going to find out stuff that we agree with, and this other stuff really isn't that important anymore. Really isn't that important. These people aren't talking about welfare. They're not talking about climate change. Nobody's talking about this stuff. You notice that? It's just almost nobody's talking about that. When you've got Anna Kasparian agreeing with Joe Rogan or whoever, and I don't even know why that's difficult to understand. Have you seen this young man who said for Cornell, he says, I don't want to go to work with the Jews or something like that? Now that's stupid. Stupid. You've seen that, right? That case, this guy, he said something like that. I don't want to work with the Jews, or I don't want to. Okay. So now the government, our government, people, I think it was, what's his name? The guy from, he used to wear the, you know what I'm talking about. Black, now he's with the Civil Rights Division. Anyway, he's with Fox now. But they want to just destroy this kid. They want to make sure he never gets a job and this is the government doing this? It's like our own blacklisting. If he says that, okay, let people know about this. They can turn him down. But you've got the government vowing to get rid of him, to teach him a lesson. Excuse me. If he just said something about this country, if he just said something about gay people, they wouldn't have done that. Why is it? And by the way, let me just say right off the bat, it's stupid, and I disagree with it. And I would say, I don't even know what you mean. But do you understand what's happening here? Not only is the left and right coalescing, but this maniacal, the anti-Semitism police have lost their minds. They have created more anti-Semitism than anything, because it's the only time we see people act like this. You can talk about my beloved country and nobody blinks an eye. Nothing. You can refer to my president as being a sexual predator. No problem. You can talk about any other country. No problem. You can talk about the Catholics. You can slam the atheists. You can talk about the Muslims. Anybody. But because this punk kid said, I don't want to work with a bunch of Jews. Again, I say for the umpteenth time, which is stupid. We're going to teach this guy a lesson when we don't worry about teaching him a lesson for anybody else? Does that make any sense to you? Tell me, am I missing something? Is that the government's business to enforce that? No. And it's because of that ridiculousness. They've lost their mind. That's why Ben Shapiro he's going to be on the balls of his ass before you know it. And Mark Levin, I don't even know what he's about. I don't know what he's about. Even my friend, and she was very good. Even Roseanne. Notice Roseanne? She was like going crazy talk for a while. It's like it's musical chairs. They stop the music. It's like, now you're stuck. This is huge. I don't think anybody understands this. You are seeing the reconfiguration of a political party. Not only that, regarding war and regarding religion and regarding a lot of people. And let me also tell you something, whether you care about this one way or another or not. Iran is going to end up stronger than it was before the war starts. You're not supposed to have a country get stronger after a war. This I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. I've never seen. And Fox News, bless their heart, they think it's 1985. They have no idea. They have no idea. But don't forget, this is the 25th anniversary of 9/11. Don't ever let anybody tell you that cockamamie story of buildings falling because of gas or jet fuel and Building 7 and the World Trade, and Shanksville and the Pentagon, bullshit. Absolute unmitigated bullshit. And pretty soon we're going to be going after climate change, which is another bullshit. That's ridiculous. These climate profiteers. And we're going to finally go after and fix geoengineering. And geoengineering or chemtrails, don't use that term, but that's what you would call it. So, my friends, I want you to understand this. Rejoice and watch something that I never thought I would ever see in my life. So, dear friends, please like the video. Like this. Subscribe, resubscribe if you have to. Make sure you're still subscribed. People are getting unsubscribed left or right. I'm getting this all the time. I don't know why. Please make sure you have that. Please hit that little bell so you're notified of live streams and new videos. Please follow Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors. I appreciate that immensely. Immensely. You are great. We'll probably do something later on tonight. I don't know. But thank you for letting me into your heart, into your mind, into your home, into your wherewithal. I appreciate that immensely. And please tell people about it. Let them hear what's going on. Because the problem is that scares people the most. We're very sensible. There's nothing at all radical about what we're saying. And that's what scares the living shit out of them. All right, dear friends, we love you. Have a great and a glorious day. Truly. Do something fun and frivolous today. And don't forget this valedictory. The monkey's dead. Show's over. Sue ya. Da-da.